Hello everyone and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian if you're new around here, but in today's guide I want to take some time and actually showcase the Void 3.0 system for the Hunter, the Titan, and the Warlock, especially how you go about unlocking these skills. Now if you're new here at the channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, you magnificent beast. That's what you get for subscribing, by the way. Free compliments at the start of these videos. But what we're going to do today is really go through and hopefully help answer any of your questions about Void 3.0, because this is going to be the future of Destiny, as they have already confirmed the Solar and the Arc subclasses are going to be getting this type rework. If you're familiar with the Stasis subclass, note that you should have some general idea of how this functions, but I want to kind of hopefully remove any of the mystery, give you guys the full details, show you the various different abilities, aspects, and fragments, and how to unlock them, especially if you're a returning player. Now, for new light players, note that the game's going to kind of guide you through these abilities, and it's going to look a little bit different, but I'm going to focus in on returning players like myself who can then dive into the specific skills. If you do not know, you need to head to the tower and talk to Ikora Ray. If you guys have not been in the tower in a while, you can always press select and you'll see Ikora Ray out here on the left hand side. But if you go ahead and approach, you'll see going beyond the light or growing your light option here, pressing the Y button to allow you to drill through. You can start to see your various abilities and aspects and fragments, and as you go through, you'll see that once the ones you have acquired, they'll have this little checkbox on them. But if you haven't acquired anything, like in the case of your grenades, you'll see a varying thing that you can purchase them for 3,000 glimmer. Once you've purchased the ability or the item itself, you can go over to the meditation unit and meditate to learn the skills, and that's how you're going to have access to all of the abilities. So for example, as we go into Void, in this case on the Hunter, we'll start here, we'll go to the Warlock, and then we'll finish off with Titan. In terms of how this video is going to be laid out, you can use the chapter markers below. If you take a look at your grenade, you have access to every Void grenade currently in the game, and they have current things turned off. Like right now, at the time of this recording, I only have one melee attack. Ultimately, we're going to see them continue to add various things to this system and continue to improve and grow it. So just keep in mind that there might be some things that you need to do to unlock a certain skill. Regarding your various supers, you actually have them listed down here. So we'll start with the supers, go through our abilities, aspects, and fragments, and then we'll switch over to our next class. So first things first, you have Shadow Shot Deadfall. This is going to tether foes into a Void anchor, weakening and suppressing them for you and your allies. The Void Anchor fires from the Shadow Shot pull targets towards the impact point, which they become traps and they await their prey. Void Anchors have increased range and they last longer. Spectral Blades is your super ability here as well. All these are super abilities. But you have summon a pair of deadly Void Blades, stalk the battlefield and Veil of Shadows, and press down on the right stick to perform a melee attack, press right trigger to perform a heavy attack, and once again, vanish from sight. And then you have Shadow Shot Mobius Quiver. Tether foes to a Void Anchor, weakening and suppressing them, and your allies fire 2 volleys of 3 Void Arrows that seek nearby targets. Shadow Shot makes targets volatile, and this deals increased damage to the tethered targets. Defeating tethered targets grants Orbs of Power. So those are your 3 supers to choose from. In your abilities, you've got Gambler's Dodge. Dodge and perform a deft tumble, avoiding enemy attacks. Dodging near enemies fully recharges your melee ability, or you can take Marksman's Dodge. Dodge performing an evasion maneuver with steady hand. Dodging automatically reloads your weapon. From your jumps ability, you got Triple Jump, which is essentially giving you that 3rd jump in the air. Strafe Jump, while airborne, jump a 2nd time with strong directional input. And then finally also High Jump, while airborne, jump a 2nd time to reach even greater heights. Then we have Snare Bomb, currently the only melee available to me at the moment. You have Throw a Smoke Bomb, which attaches to the surface and pings enemy radar, weakening targets on detonation. And then you have Vortex Grenade here. So grenade that creates vortex that pulls enemies inward and continually damages those who are trapped inside. You can take a Scatter Grenade previously. Oh gosh, I love this system. Grade that splits into sub munitions and covers a large area of multiple explosions. You can take your Suppressor Grenade, an explosive grenade that suppresses, preventing a target from using abilities for a short time. Void Wall, a burning light that creates a horizontal wall of burning void light. The Spike Grenade emits an energy that attaches to any surface and emits a torrent of damaging void light. Then you have Magnetic Grenade, a grenade that attaches to targets and explodes twice. And then you also have Axion Bolt, a bolt of void light that forks on impact into smaller bolts and seeks out targets. Now, when it comes to your aspects and your fragments, if I go ahead and unequip these here, this is going to be kind of general tutorial for you how it functions. You get, in this case, 2 aspects, and you can see here I've got 3 options. One of the things you can see here is you get fragment slots. So this one with Trapper's Ambush has 1 fragment slot. If I equip it, you can see here I now have 1 fragment slot to choose from. And then these 2 have 2 fragment slots. In fact, if I actually equip both of these, you can see here now I have actually 4 fragments to choose from. So it gives you some level of flexibility. But let's go through what we've got. You have Stylus Executioner. This is going to boast, which sucks air from you from the room, letting enemies know you might before you take them down. Defeating a weakened suppression or volatile target grants invisibility and true sight. After performing a Stylus Execution, your next melee attack, while invisible, weakens your target. Then I also have Vanishing Step, the wiles of the season, interlure, dodge, and unwanted affronts to slip by unseen, dodge making you invisible, and this binds to double pressing of the B button. We also have Trapper's Ambush, and just make sure I'm not going to double read anything here. You have this of activate Quickfall to spin your melee charge and dive to the ground, creating a large smoke cloud on impact, which then dissipates and the target caught in the cloud are weakened and allies are made invisible. Your smoke bomb makes nearby allies invisible when it attaches to nearby surfaces or targets. And so we've got Stylus Executioner, Vanishing Step, and there we go. So those are the 3 aspects right now that I have for the Hunter. In fragments, we obviously have a lot more to choose from, so we can just kind of go through it because they're all kind of easily selected down here. But ultimately, you have Echo of Expulsion. This is going to give you 10 intellect. The Void ability, Final Blows, cause targets to actually explode. You've got Echo of Provision. Damaging targets with grenades grants melee energy. It's going to come at a cost of -10 to your strength. You have Echo of Exchange. Melee Final Blows grant grenade energy. Then you also have Echoes of Remnants. Your Lingering Grenade effects, Vortex Grenade, Void Wall, Void Spike, and Axion Bolt have increased duration. You have Echo of Reprisal. The final blows when surrounded by combatants grant super energy. Echo of Undermining. Your Void Grenade weakens your target. It also comes at a cost of -20 discipline. Then you've got Echo of Persistence. Void buffs applied to you, invisibility, overshield, and devour, have increased duration with a cost to your mobility. Echoes of Leeching. Melee final blows cost health regeneration or start health regeneration for you and nearby allies with 10 resilience added to your stats. You have Echoes of Domineering. After suppressing a target, you gain greatly increased mobility for a short duration, and equip weapons is reloaded from reserves with 10 discipline added there. Then Echoes of Dilation. While crouched, you sneak faster and gain enhanced radar resolution, plus 10 to mobility and 10 to intellect. You also have Echo of Instability here. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your void weapons with 10 strength. You have Echoes of Harvest. Defeating weakened targets with precision final blows will create orbs of power. And then finally, Echoes of Obscurity. Finishing final blows grant invisibility. Now we come to our Voidwalker Warlock. We can see here a couple of options. Nova Warp. Step into between dimensions and subvert the laws of physics. You can press right bumper to teleport for short distance, right trigger to unleash deadly voice eruptions. Then you also have Nova Bomb Vortex. Hurl an explosive bolt of void light at the target, disintegrating those caught within its blast. Nova Bomb creates a singularity that pulls targets inward and continually damages those who are trapped inside. And then you also have Nova Bomb Cataclysm. Hurl an explosive bolt of void light at the target, disintegrating those caught within the blast. Nova Bomb travels slowly and seeks out targets, detonates and shatters into smaller seeker projectiles. Just note that even with this change, those seekers actually detonate or appear a little bit after the fact, after the explosion. So there's going to be a greater chance that you're going to be able to use those more in this version. Then, like before, you still have Healing Rift and Empowering Rift. So essentially you have these options, and there's also like legendaries and exotics that are going to play more into this. I said legendaries, I mean exotics. Regarding our jumps, you still have Blink, you still have Balanced Glide, Strafe Glide, and Burst Glide. These are going to be your different jumps that you have access to. For your melee, Pocket Singularity, this is going to launch an unstable ball of void energy that detonates when it's near a target, pushing them away from the blast and making them volatile. So that's going to be huge. So if you guys hear the word volatile, note that it's a target that's affected with unstable void energy will explode upon taking additional damage. So you get basically more damage output on them. For your grenades, still Scatter. This is going to be exactly like you see with the Hunter. Vortex, Suppressor, Void Wall, Void Spike, Magnetic Grenade, and Axion Bolt. One of the really cool things is now everybody's got access to all the various grenade options that they haven't had before. Same thing with our aspects. Note that you have those fragment slots. Feed the Void. This is going to, when you defeat a target with Void ability, activate Devour. Devour is active. Final blows restore health and extend Devour. You also have Child of the Old Gods. Cast your Rift to create a Void Soul. When you damage the target with a weapon, your Void Soul flies to them and drains them, doing damage and weakening them. When the target is being drained, you are granted grenade and melee energy if running a healing rift, or health if running empowering rift. So defeating your target who is being drained by your Void Soul grants the class ability energy. And the other option is Chaos Accelerant. You can actually charge or overcharge your grenade, making it deadlier and more effective. Vortex Grenade increases the size and lingering direction of the vortex. Axion Bolt creates an additional seeker. Scatter Grenade has Fulmination track nearby targets. And Magnetic Grenades releases a short-range Void Blast. So that's how that's going to ultimately play out and get tracked there. Then in our fragments, we've got Expulsion. Again, this is going to cause enemies to explode. You've got Provision, dealing damage grants energy. And essentially, if you look at the fragments themselves, it looks like a lot of this stuff is essentially exactly what we've already seen with 10 strength, 10 recovery, obscurity, further granting finishing blows grants invisibility, weakens grants orbs of power, and more. So overall, the nice thing about the fragments is that they're all pretty much, or they're exactly the same that we've already seen. So you can kind of play around with it and also impact your stats. But now let's go check out our Titan. So for Titans, no longer regarding the Sentinel Shield is it one super ability. They've split it up, so you now have Ward of Dawn, creates an indestructible dome to protect you and your allies. Passing through the Ward of Dawn grants you and your allies a temporary increase in weapon damage. And it's split up because it actually now activates much faster, because it's no longer trying to figure out what you're trying to do between going shield and bubble. So then you still have Sentinel Shield, summons a shield of void light. While Sentinel Shield is active, you can press R to attack. You can you can block with the left trigger. You can right bumper to perform a shield throw. Guard with Sentinel Shield to create a defensive wall. Allies who shoot through the wall have increased weapon damage, and guarding allies makes the shield last longer. So those are your two options here. Jumping into our abilities, you still have Towering Barricade and Rally Barricade to choose from. Jumps wise, you still have Catapult Lift, Strafe Lift, and High Lift for the Titans. Regarding Shield Throw, you have a couple of different melee abilities. You have Shield Bash. After sprinting for a short time, use this melee to unleash devastating Shield Bash that suppresses the target. Final blows with Shield Bash grant an Overshield, or you can take Shield Throw, hurl your Void Shield towards the target, and the shield can ricochet off of the surfaces, granting Overshield for each target hit. Then you have Suppressor Grenade, just like before Scatter, Vortex, Void Spike, Magnetic Grenade, and Axion Bolt to take with you. And then in our aspects and fragments, I'll just go ahead and pick on two here. You've got Offensive Bulwark, dilation in space used to manipulate the timing of void abilities. Press the attack, double down to your advantage. While you have an Overshield or are inside Ward of Dawn, your grenade charges significantly faster, and you have increased melee range and damage. Your melee final blows extend the duration of your Overshield, and you can gain additional shield throw while using Sentinel Shield. Controlled Demolition, the Seed of the Unknown, which sprouts into the yawning absence, sustain your allies with the destruction of those who oppose you. Hitting the target with a void ability or volatile explosion makes them volatile. Further damaging the volatile target causes them to explode, granting you and nearby allies health when volatile targets explode near you. And then finally, your other option is Bastion. Cast your super to grant Overshield to nearby allies. Casting your Barricade grants Overshield to yourself and nearby allies and empowers it, enabling it to slowly regenerate the Overshield of allies bunkering behind it and extend their Overshield duration, thus giving us some access to our fragments again: Expulsion, Provision, Exchange, Remnants, Reprisal, Undermining, Dilation, Domineering, Leeching, Persistence, and then obviously Instability, Harvest, and Obscurity. Imagine being a invisible Titan, if you will. So at its core, I'm just kind of randomly picking these, so just don't know that I don't have any builds yet for you guys, but that's going to be ultimately the plan for this, and especially for Void 3.0. And as we dive into this new Witch Queen expansion, I hope you got something good out of this video. If you did, I hope you have a fantastic day, and you can take whatever you want from it. And honestly, I'm just going to wish you all the best. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully I'll see you in my next videos, but until then, guys, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with the clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh yeah.